Yes, yes. What's up? It's a Triple B based boxing basement. Please like to push away the haters. Um, so I'm talking about the Lee Wood Mauricio Lara fight, and the main talking point is should boxer-size Bellend throw in the towel. Now, the thing is, right? So there's loads of people on the internet and ex boxers or boxers, and they're like, yeah, oh, he did the right thing, he did the right thing, but did he? But did he? Yeah. Oh, he saved his fight from going to the hospital. Like, what? Do these people see in the future? You know? I mean, for me, I lean towards he shouldn't have thrown in the towel. Yeah? The reason being, oh, yeah, it was hurt. Wood was hurt with a great left hook. Yeah, but think about it, right? 20 seconds left. Lara would have been pushed back to the corner by the referee because he was he was in the middle of the ring, whereas you've got to be in the neutral corner. And then Wood would have had to survive a few seconds until the bell. Then you got a minute. Yeah, to see how he is at least, to see how he is. And Wood was visibly wobbly, but he had his wits about him in some sense. You know, his legs were wobbly, but he had his wits about him, and he was not pleased. He was not pleased at all with the stoppage, you know. I mean, genuinely, there's part of me that thinks boxer-size Bellend, Ben Davidson, has got such a big ego. He's such a narcissist. He's thinking about himself all the time. And he knows he will be clapped for throwing in the towel. Yeah? And he gets his mush in the frame. He gets his face in the frame. And everyone's talking about him and whether he should throw in the towel. Yeah, and then he comes to the corner Wood and boxer-size Bellend is hanging on to Lee like he's keeping him upright and hugging him like, oh, I care about my fighter. And Wood, if you notice, he's trying to push him away. He's trying to push him away because he's not happy, man. He's not happy. I mean, he was caught with a good shot, but it's not like he took a beating the whole fight. It's not like he took the beating, was it? You know, he got basically that was about the only good shot Lara landed. Although his best shot was with his head, but it's not like he'd taken a beating. And it's the 7th round, and Davison jumps up on the ring dramatically, calls it off, throws the towel in, so that all the talk will be about Ben Davidson, right? And, all these people are saying, oh, he would have been in the hospital. He would have been badly hurt. Would, if it carried on. How do you know that? How do you know that? I mean, it's nonsense. He hadn't taken much punishment, right? Now, every boxing fight, that usually ends up in a bad beating in a hospital stay, is a long fight where someone's taken a hammering. Those are where you get injuries, not when you get one guy dropped by one shot. Okay, and also every boxing fight might end up in hospital. So why not stop the fight after the first punch? It's stupid, man. This is boxing. Yeah, and as I said, what's his name? Bellend boxer-size could have sat there and gone, okay, I'm gonna hold the towel. I'm just gonna wait to see how he reacts for those 10 seconds, and then I get him back to the corner for 1 minute. I'll talk to him. If he's clearly not compos mentis, I'll stop it. Right? And people say, well, boxer-size Bellend is not the timekeeper. Come on, man. Yeah, of course he should be keeping time. And there's a clock, in modern boxing. They have screens of the action and screens with the clock. So he'd be like, so he should have been like, no, man, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold the towel. Yeah, and if he gets battered, I'll throw it in, right? Because what's at stake here? I mean, honestly, like, what was the stake here? Was I don't know, £1.5 million fight against Josh Warrington. You might think, oh, really? No, it could have been pay-per-view. Lee Wood versus Josh Warrington would have been a big fight. You know, you got the Leeds, these Nottingham kind of football ting, right? You've got they're both popular fighters. This could be pay-per-view, but no. Boxing Bellend, Boxer-Size Ben wants to get his face in it. You know, I mean, and people always get on their high horse. They're like, "Oh, he saved him for another day." Listen, man, what do you think happens to journeymans all the time? They get beaten up and stopped all the time, huh? And no one cares about it. No one goes, "Oh, save him for another day." They don't care. They don't care. There'll be spectacular knockouts all the time in world-class boxing. Yeah, I remember. I seen Joe Calzaghe with his Omar Shika stoppage. And next to me was some like boxing journalist, and he was like going, "Oh," and some guy said, "Oh, they stopped it too early. They stopped it too early." And this guy goes, "Oh, he'd been in hospital, probably paralyzed if he hadn't stopped it." What nonsense, man. I mean, you see some dreadful knockouts, and these people just get up, clear their head, and they're all right. You know, they might need to be looked at the paramedics. Of course they should be. You know, Sonny Edwards also said, "Oh, he definitely did the right thing. He shouldn't have." Yeah, he can't. His grammar's whack. He shouldn't have stopped the fight. I mean, a lot of people jump on the. I've seen it in the forums as well. You know, 80% of people said, "Yeah, he was right. Stop it." But that's because they are playing the game of, "Oh, I'm merciful. Boxing is dangerous. We don't want Lee Wood to be hospitalized. He'd never recover again." All this nonsense, man. All this nonsense, right? Lee Wood, I mean, it's a decision about money. Lee Wood would have made 1.5 mil with his Josh Warrington. Okay? And he wasn't hurt. He was not getting a battering. He got hit by a good shot. His legs wobbled, but it was near the end of the round. He could well have recovered. Yeah. And, you know, Boxer-Size Bellend has never boxed. He has never boxed. I mean, imagine teaching someone how to play tennis, but you've never had a single game of tennis. I mean, it's nonsense, right? I don't know how Boxer-Size Bellend never got to where he did. You know? I mean, I know boxing is a bit of a different game because it's taking punches. It's not just hitting a ball, but... You know, and people say, "Oh, Dean Powell was a great trainer." Yeah, he was. He was a great trainer, Dean Powell. But Dean Powell lived boxing, and he trained for years to be an amateur boxer. But, you know, I mean, his physique was not right for boxing. And so they said, "Dean, why don't you become a trainer instead?" And he did. He became a good one. Dean Powell lived boxing for his life, man, and trained as an amateur and sparred, right? So it's incomparable. Whereas Ben Davidson has done nothing except, you know, fitness classes. You know, Frotch as well said they should have let it go. I agree. I mean, Frotch is a warrior. He's salty though. He does not like to give British boxers any credit. You know, but I believe Carl was correct. Man. I mean, Lee Wood is 34. I think he's 34. He's not going to have many chances at a big payday. You know, a 1.5 mil payday would change your life. Yeah, and I don't agree with. If you have too much money, it ruins you. But if you have enough money to buy a nice house, right, to look after your family, then that's a great place to be, and that's a place Lee Wood would be, right. I believe, having said that, oddly, I believe probably Lara would have clocked Wood, maybe in the next round, but we don't know because we weren't given the opportunity of seeing that. And Wood did not take many punches in that fight, right? I think his main problem, funnily enough, and I blame boxer-size Bellend Ben Davidson, is that Wood was outboxing Lara, but he wasn't really using the jab. He would just pump it out like softly, softly, softly. Use it as a what's it called, a measure to measure the distance, and then try and land hard shots. I think that was wrong. I think Lee Wood should have pumped a little bit more in that jab and concentrate on the jab. He's taller. He's got a better reach than Lara. And he should have pumped it up. And I think he hurt Lara as well. But in my opinion, right, he should have been slightly cleverer. I blame Bellend Boxing Davidson. But ultimately what I'm saying is that my belief is, and I go against 80% of people on whatever, Twitter and forums, I believe he should let it go on. There was more than enough chance for him to recover. There's more than enough chance for him to see if Wood was okay. Lara can punch. There's no doubt, But firstly, if you, like I said, Wood didn't take much punishment. When you see people get knocked out by a puncher, they generally recover pretty quickly. Okay, Wood had not taken a battering, and it's well worth, with that money on the line. It's well worth the chance that Wood might have just recovered, jab, bum bum, carry on moving around, and might have won the fight on points. Do I think it would have happened? I don't know, man. The problem with Wood is that he does hang his chin out a bit. And that he would probably get stopped. I would have put my money on that, but, with this much at stake, you have to take the chance. And boxer-size Bellend Ben Davidson, who's never boxed. And by the way, when he threw the talon, Lee Wood's back. He could only see Lee Wood's back. He couldn't see Lee Wood's eyes. He couldn't see how he was. He just threw it in. And in my opinion, it's so that the headlines will be about him. He's an egotist. He's a narcissist. He loves the idea that people will be talking about him. And they are. And like I said, I don't believe all the, hardcore boxers now, oh, he saved him, he could have had his career ruined. Oh, that's nonsense, man. If he takes a couple of big shots, boom, throw the talon, stop it. Yeah? And if he got KO'd, well, he'd bounce back quickly. Name me one single fight where someone's been starched and then, their career's ruined. I mean, he's 34, Lee Wood. I'm about to make a massive payday against the Space Raider Josh Warrington. Ben Davidson makes me sick, man. When I look at his stupid face, his stupid haircut, his thick blonde hair, slicked back, like some kind of shampoo model. You don't know nothing about boxing. I don't know how he got to his position. He's a lot of top fighters that he's had on his books have had bad results after being on him. Tyson Fury, Josh Taylor, people like that. Here, Lee Wood. Why do you get his point? I honestly, genuinely do not understand why this guy got the gig. A non-boxer, an idiot. Maybe get some of the fighters. I get that. But imagine having boxer-size Ben Davidson tell Tyson Fury how to throw his punches. A guy who's been boxing since he can remember. What is he going to teach Tyson Fury or Josh Taylor or Lee Wood? None. And there's a part of me that thinks, well, maybe he's got some agreement with MTK, because MTK got him the gigs, right? Maybe he gives half his wages away to MTK or something. There's something weird going on. This bum should not be near any world-class fighters.